Few have reached the depths of the game that you have attained. They were too weak or too inflexible, too passionate or lacking in the necessary will. You are different.
Welcome back. It is week 13. As you may have noticed from the previous highlight, I did rank up to Platinum, which is a first for me, believe it or not. So this is new territory, so to speak. Now for the first problem, I was lucky enough to realize it in the middle of ranking up, as opposed to having to go the whole week and then figure it out now. But the problem was that I was too impatient on offense. I was so desperate to show results here on this series that I was dashing in, jumping in, doing very unsafe things in matches that were getting me hit and ultimately getting me killed. And I had lost sight of the fact that I was trying to improve, not trying to rank up. That the rank up would come as a result of improvement. So Tuesday and Wednesday, I was like that. I was desperate. But Wednesday night, I was so frustrated, I just sat back and asked myself, what's going wrong? And I realized exactly what I told you, that I was too desperate and putting myself in bad situations all the time. So Thursday and Friday I came back and I played slower and more controlled. And where I had made zero progress on Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday and Friday I made immense progress, much easier than I have had in a while. And it was all just because I slowed down. I played more controlled. I didn't put myself into bad positions all the time trying to score damage. I just waited for my chance, and then I took it when it showed up, and if it didn't, I would just wait some more. The second problem I had was having my block strings interrupted. Now, that interruption can happen as armor, let's say Abigail's EX run, or a parry, let's say Colleen's mid parry or low parry, or even a reversal or a critical art, you know, like Ryu's Dragon Punch. However, I'm going to show you parts of a match that I played versus a friend where he used a V-trigger 2 parry. And those are the only two times that he used them in that match, and yet they landed every time. So let's take a look real quick. Alright, so as you saw, he got away with it. And you might wonder how he knew. And the question belies the answer, is that he knew. He knew because I was predictable. Because I had been doing the same thing over and over. I didn't change it up. I never said, you know, I'm doing this thing too many times, I'm going to do a different block string, or I'm going to back up, or I'm just going to crouch block. I just kept doing it. And so here's what we're going to do to resolve it. We're going to come up with more frame traps. And not only that, they're not all going to be the tightest frame traps that we can come up with. We've got our 3-frame, 4-frame traps right now, but we need 5 and 6 frame, and we need 1 or 2 like 8 to 9 frame traps, just to catch like some of the weird heavy stuff, you know, that people might be mashing. In addition to that, we need to consider during matches if we're being too predictable. So at every point, ask yourself, have I done this too much? Have I done this too much? Have I done this too much? Yes. it's probably time to do something else. And so what might you do? Well, you might use those differently spaced frame traps, you know, the 5 frame, 6 frame, or the 7 to 9 frame. Or you might shimmy backwards if you're setting up for a whiff trap or trying to beat a delay tech. Or you might crouch block if you think the opponent's going to try and hit you low. Things like that. The next problem has to do with understanding my character. So the reason this comes up is I fought a Fang that played completely differently than I knew how to fight with Fang. So as Fang, I know of 3 ways to fight. I have zoning with this stuff. I have neutral with these things. And I have rushdown pressure. Like that. But this guy, he did something completely different. It was almost like he was playing as a Buki instead of Fang. So we're going to take a look at that real quick, and then we'll come back.
2 minutes. I'll finish you in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I'll finish you in 2 minutes.
Alright, so as you saw, he did a lot of this. And he didn't just do that, he did it at weird spots too, like that, or that, or what was the other one he did? One of these. And then as I was blocking the projectiles, he then slid under me and like crossed me up, right? I'm bad at this because I haven't practiced it. Oh, what's the recovery on this? There we go. Something like that. So, what I need to do is I need to learn how to play like him. I need to incorporate that Fang into my Fang. So I've got the zoning, I've got the neutral, I've got the rushdown. He had the mix-ups. I need to get the mix-ups too. Now obviously you are probably not playing Fang, but chances are that you've come across the mirror at some point and seen something like this where it was completely alien to you. And what you need to do is be able to bring that into your character. You need to bring that other style in. And in doing so, you'll have not only more options, possibly better offense, possibly better defense, but you're going to understand your character better so that you don't lose the mirror match as often. So to summarize, the first problem was offensive patience. Basically, just need to chill out a little bit and bring it back down to basics where you're not chasing after the opponent, you're not dashing in, you're not jumping in, you're just walking, and when an opportunity presents itself, it presents itself. You're not being too crazy. The second problem was predictability, in that we just need more frame traps, and we need the ability to shimmy backwards or crouch block if we think we're being too predictable on top of that. So more frame traps, different kinds of frame traps, shimmy backwards sometimes, and crouch block sometimes. The third problem was understanding your character better. So anytime you've come across a mirror match where the other opponent played completely different, you need to bring that style into your character. And in doing so, you'll have more offensive options, maybe more defensive options, it depends. And you'll just be all around better off knowing more about your character, and you don't lose the mirror match that often. So hopefully this helps, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Do you understand what it is we do now? Or did I rush you through the rules, pushing you into the play before you were prepared?